Welcome to Told History, a place where forgotten stories from the corners of the world are brought to life with atmosphere and soul. Here, each episode unveils a piece of the past that changed everything, told through careful detail and vivid storytelling. If you seek to journey through history's mysteries, don't forget to like and subscribe. Supporting us allows more hidden tales to be shared. In today's episode, we unravel the mystery of the Piri Reis map, a chart from 1513 that challenged explorers and historians with its surprising accuracy. You'll follow at the crossroads of legend and truth, witnessing a discovery that forever changed how the world imagined its edges. Let us step together into a tale where old secrets and ambition shape the course of exploration itself. Chapter 1. Shadows on Ancient Canvas. The story opens on the cusp of the Age of Discovery, an era where distant horizons lured European powers with promises of glory, gold, and forgotten lands. The air thrums with restlessness, cities buzz, and rumours of uncharted worlds spread like wildfire. Here, men dream of drawing new lines across old maps, determined to claim their place in history's unfolding adventure. From the grand halls of Lisbon to the bustling docks of Genoa, Europe quivers with excitement and ambition. New voyages are whispered by candlelight, fueled by the allure of lost civilizations and hidden treasures. Kings and merchants gamble fortunes and futures on bold enterprises overseas. The ocean, vast and unknown, beckons with possibilities. Every wave seems to hold a secret. Every wave seems to hold a secret. Every coastline a promise yet to be fulfilled. Yet, the world as Europeans knew it was incomplete. Ancient maps ended in strange blank spaces or fantastical illustrations. Monsters, dragons, unimagined lands. Each blank corner meant both danger and opportunity, sparking dreams among explorers and cartographers alike. To fill these voids was to hold power. To redraw the map was to redefine reality itself. And so, the race to map the world began in earnest. Into this fervent atmosphere steps an enigma, a single artefact whispered about in sailors' taverns, feared by some and coveted by others. It is a map, but not just any mapper creation so precise, so hauntingly detailed, that it seems impossible for its time. This is the Piri Reis map, born from the era's hunger for knowledge, a canvas not merely of ink and hide, but layered with secrets and legends. Beneath the flickering glow of lantern light, the Piri Reis map emerges from shadow. It is drawn on the skin of gazelle, its colours still vibrant despite the centuries. What sets it apart is not just where it leads, but what it dares to reveal. Its coastlines are uncannily accurate, tracing places known and unknown. There is a sense of mystery, questions pooling as eyes scan its intricate lines and curious annotations. News of the map's existence circulates among scholars and adventurers. Whispers speak of a Turkish admiral, Piri Reis, who dared to assemble this tool of exploration. Some say through collected tales and stolen secrets. Others believe a touch of the unknown guided his hand. The map becomes an object of fascination and unease a roadmap to both salvation and peril, depending on who dares to follow its contours. As dawn breaks over an ancient port, you can almost hear the call of distant gulls, sense the salty wind rustle around the ships. This was a world poised at the brink of discovery, curiosity battling fear, boldness mingling with doubt. The Piri Reis map, with its cryptic inscriptions and mesmerizing accuracy, seems to shimmer with possibility. It beckons explorers to dare, to question what lies beyond the horizon's edge. The Age of Discovery is not merely an era of expansion, it is an awakening. The world is growing, borders dissolve and reform as stories travel further than ships. In this environment, a map can be more than just a navigational tool. It becomes a key to power, legend, and legacy. The Piri Reis map stirs the imagination of all who glimpse its face, whispering promises of a world yet unclaimed. To understand the power of the Piri Reis map, consider the minds who first laid eyes on it. Imagine seasoned mariners, their faces weathered by storms, poring over each contour. Kings and sultans, haunted by dreams of empire, debate its origins beside flickering hearths. Even scholars, bound by reason, feel a thrill as they peer through layers of painstaking detail. The map becomes a bridge between history, myth, and uncharted possibility. But with every remarkable artifact comes its shadow skepticism, suspicion, and intrigue. For some, the map is too good, too accurate for its time, sparking rumours of lost knowledge or forbidden alliances. Was it crafted with help from ancient civilizations? Could it be evidence of contact with lands long before Columbus sailed west? These questions swirl, fueling debates that will endure through the centuries to come. In candlelit rooms, scholars argue over the symbols marked along forgotten coasts. Ancient writings in strange hands, notations no one can fully decipher. The map itself becomes a riddle, part fact, part fable. It challenges history's accepted wisdom, urging those who study it to look closer, think deeper. With every question it raises, the Piri Reis map deepens its hold on the world's imagination. For the sailors of this world, every journey is an act of faith. Oceans stretch out endlessly, the sky a cloak of shifting stars. Landfall is rarely assured, hazards are real, and hope rides on flimsy promises. A map of such accuracy offered both comfort and unease, did it? Promise safe passage, or reveal dangers yet unknown. Each mark along its surface is a whisper from the past, tempting the bold to dare. Legends about the Piri Reis map begin to spread. Some say it was pieced together from the remnants of lost libraries, perhaps even the legendary Library of Alexandria. Others believe it was constructed with the aid of secretive guilds, passing down charts kept hidden from the world. Each tale grows more elaborate, entwining the map further with myth, making the truth ever more elusive, yet more seductive by the day. Meanwhile, powers across the Mediterranean watch with envy and fear. Rival kingdoms send emissaries and spies, eager to glimpse this mysterious chart for themselves. Every scrap of parchment becomes a bargaining chip, a potential weapon in the chess game of empires. In the map's swirling seas and tangled coastlines, rulers sense both promise and perilous edge in the eternal contest to shape the fate of the world. Behind every inked coastline is a testament to centuries of exploration of stories passed down, discoveries won through hardship. The Piri Reis map is more than a simple diagram, it is a tapestry of overlapping journeys. Ancient sailors risking all on swollen tides, knowledge traded in secret, each piece tightening the woven fabric of this single, enigmatic artifact. It is, in its very essence, a connection between countless lives. In reading the maps, legends and mysterious symbols, one senses an uneasy presence, a feeling that the known and unknown meet along its edges. It invites speculation. Did Piri Reis possess sources now lost to history? Did his charting bridge worlds we only guess at today? Every question only deepens the legend. With every doubt cast, the map's aura strengthens, casting shadows long into the future. As word spreads, the map draws curious minds from distant lands. Traders recount rumours to eager crowds. Poets weave it into ballad and epic. In every retelling, the details grow more spellbinding than. See prophetic visions wandering along its curved lines, while others insist it holds keys to civilizations vanished without a trace. The map's power grows in the retelling, its story changing with each new voice. Soon, the Piri Reis map is not simply a chart, but a legend in its own right. It transcends parchment and pigment to become a symbol of possibility, of hidden truths waiting to be uncovered. Explorers and dreamers alike keep its likeness in their minds as they trace new routes across dangerous seas. It is both a challenge and an invitation, daring its beholders to see the world with new eyes. Generations pass. Yet the map's pull never fades. Historians argue, explorers debate, and artists imagine what may yet lie untravelled. The Piri Reis map sits at the crossroads of time, drawing each new era back toward the enigma at its heart. Its mysteries, untouched by the centuries, continue to gnaw at those who yearn to know more, refusing to release their grip on the imagination. In gazing at the Piri Reis map, we gaze into the heart of human curiosity. It stands as a monument to wonder and restlessness, the lifelong urge to know what lies just beyond reach. Ancient echoes answer modern questions, reminding us how the past carves the path for every future voyage. Each glance peels back another layer, a new clue, or simply another secret, forever urging inquiry. Forever urging inquiry. Thus begins our journey, not just through inked coastlines and strange geographies, but through the longing of entire civilizations. We follow footsteps etched deep in time, chasing both fact and fantasy. The Piri Reis map is our compass riddle bound in hide and hope. And as we trace its contours, we join the countless souls drawn to the mystery at the world's edge, searching for answers and finding legend instead. In the coming chapters, we will peel back the centuries and journey alongside those who shaped and were shaped by the maps. Legend, through storms of intrigue and breakthroughs of discovery, its influence will guide us further. The tale of the Piri Reis map, shrouded in both fact and fable, is far from over. Let us step together into the unfolding story, where every clue uncovered shines new light on the age of exploration. Chapter 2. Portrait of a Captain. In the heart of the Ottoman Empire, a solitary figure bends over ancient charts and weathered scrolls by the dim glow of oil lamps. This is Piri Reis, a captain of the sea and master of secrets. His eyes, sharp and restless, scan the horizon of history and ambition. With each brush of ink, his world expands an inner filled with devotion, curiosity, and unrelenting drive. Born into a lineage of sailors, Piri Reis was moulded by the ever-shifting tides of the Mediterranean. His earliest memories swirl with the scent of salt and tar, and the thunderous chorus of waves against sturdy wood. The empire's fortunes often rested on men like him, fearless mariners who navigated both mapless waters and unpredictable allegiances. His youth at sea would forever shape his perspective, filling him with longing and resolve. Within the bustling harbours of Gallipoli, young Piri learned to read the stars and listen to the wind. More than a captain, he was a quiet observer absorbing wisdom from seasoned sailors whose stories blurred the line between fact and fantasy. Every ship's deck was a school, and every voyage a test of spirit. Even as a novice, Piri sensed he was destined for more than mere survival on the waves. His uncle, Kemal Reis, played an instrumental role in shaping the young mariner's destiny. Under his guidance, Piri witnessed triumph and tragedy battling pirates off distant coasts and navigating through gale-force winds. The Ottoman fleet, a living force of wood, iron and will, became their world. Bound by blood and ambition, Piri learned that mastery at sea required both courage and cunning. But life in the Ottoman navy was not only defined by outward dangers. Political tempests brewed in grand palaces far from the spray of salt water. Each mission carried silent undercurrents of rivalry, as alliances changed as swiftly as the tides. Still, Piri navigated power's treacherous straits as skillfully as any sea passage, learning to read a glance as carefully as a chart. As he rose through the ranks, Piri's mind hungered for more than military orders. He saw patterns beneath chaos traces left by explorers, merchants and travellers on the world's shifting canvas. Night after night he copied old maps and journals by lamplight, cataloguing their wisdom and their mysteries. His study became a sanctum where ideas converged and old legends sparked new questions. Personal sacrifice came hand in hand with ambition. Pyrrhus' dedication to his craft often kept him far from loved ones, his heart split between familial loyalties and the call of discovery. Long absences at sea meant loneliness only alleviated by his growing collection of maps and manuscripts. These relics became both companions and teachers to him, each promising a glimpse into unexplored worlds. Through relentless effort, Piri developed a reputation for meticulous record-keeping and keen observation. He collected fragments of knowledge from sailors and scholars across continents, piecing together secrets that would later astonish the world. His notes brimmed with wind patterns, coastlines, and whispered rumours of distant lands. In every detail, he searched for deeper truths that would unify the scattered tales of explorers. In his modest study, surrounded by parchment and ink, Piri revelled in the interplay between art and science. Drawing a coastline was never just about precision. It was about envisioning places unseen, breathing life into empty spaces. Cartography for Piri was not simply a discipline but a vocation that connected him to forces older than empires, curiosity, awe, and the endless rolling rhythm of the sea. Yet the captain's journey was not always celebrated. Critics whispered about his unusual pursuits, questioning why a navy man bothered with old papers and unknown lands. Some saw him as eccentric, but Piri pressed on, believing that maps held the power to bridge continents and unite divided peoples. His solitude became a shelter, allowing ideas to blossom free of petty court intrigues. The Ottoman Empire in Pyrrhus' era was a maritime giant, its ships stretching across the Mediterranean and beyond. This fleet was both sword and shield for the empires, ambitions carrying goods, culture, and sometimes war to new shores. Every sailor understood their place within this vast machinery, but Piri saw Moray a network of invisible routes, ancient knowledge, and the potential for discovery that transcended borders. As captain, Piri commanded respect, but he also carried burdens. Responsibility for lives weighed heavily on him, particularly when storms threatened or when battle loomed on the horizon. He remained vigilant, haunted by memories of friends lost to tempests or conflict. These experiences sharpened his resolve to leave something enduring, behind a legacy that would guide future generations through perilous seas. Despite the empire's might, Ottoman sailors faced constant peril. Pirate attacks, treacherous reefs, and shifting alliances kept every voyage charged with uncertainty. Pyrrhus' familiarity with danger made him cautious and inventive. He learned to read omens in cloud formations and the subtle signs of changing currents. His approach blended calculation with intuition, a rare balance that kept his crew safe and his reputation intact. Maritime power transformed the Ottomans from defenders of tradition to shapers of new worlds. Piri witnessed firsthand the fruits of expansion, not only wealth but also knowledge flowing into Istanbul's bustling streets and scholars' libraries. He understood that every journey could rewrite the edges of civilization, and that each new map he drew might alter perceptions as profoundly as a war or treaty ever could. Behind the scenes, Pyrrhus' ambition fed on curiosity and a desire for understanding. He corresponded secretly with other mapmakers, gathering tales from travellers who had glimpsed strange lands or sailed forbidden waters. Every whispered anecdote or faded diagram had value, each a potential clue in the puzzle of Earth's true form. The mysterious gaps on existing maps called to him, inviting exploration and imagination. To Piri Reis, the process of map-making was akin to poetry. He translated the language of wind, waves, and rumours into delicate lines and coded annotations. Each stroke revealed hidden perils and legendary places, the ghosts of lost ships and the memory of great storms. He worked with quiet devotion, believing that every chart held meaning beyond the practical, serving as both guide and testament to the unknown. The captain's house became a refuge for other Seekers astronomers, geographers, and storytellers drawn by his reputation. Together, they pored over strange texts and debated the true nature of distant continents. Peary thrived in this exchange of ideas, often staying up until first light to discuss hypothesized lands and celestial events. These gatherings brought solace and inspiration during the long, uncertain years of research. Yet for all his public achievements, Peary remained a private man. At night, as the city quieted, he would return to old journals and childhood memories, reflecting on the risks he had taken and the futures he had glimpsed. These solitary hours were a time for humility, a chance to breathe and remind himself that every discovery rode on the backs of countless anonymous sailors before him. The more he learned, the more Peary realised how much remained undiscovered. Ancient tales spoke of lands beyond the horizon, some real, others conjured in the imagination of men hungry for wonder. He treated every story as a thread to untangle, weaving folklore and fact until a picture started to emerge. Unravelling these mysteries became both a burden and a joy that sustained him through setbacks. Pyrrhus' passion set him apart from his peers, many of whom remained satisfied with conventional navigation charts. He ventured far beyond these boundaries, searching for forgotten routes, recording uncharted islands, and, above all, seeking accuracy where legends once ruled. The trust placed in his hands by the Empire pushed him to ever greater heights, blending Ottoman ambition with personal yearning for understanding. This union of sea and study shaped Pyrrhus' legacy, making him not just a navigator, but a collector of unseen worlds. His life became an intertwined dance of danger and discover of moments won in storms and years spent hunched over parchment. With every voyage, new possibilities unfolded. Each map was a living document, a way to share part of his journey with an empire hungry for greatness. But the captain never lost sight of his origins. Memories of wind-swept decks, tempests, and camaraderie reminded him of the cost of ambition. Each success was tempered by humility and an enduring respect for the ocean's unpredictable power. Pyrrhus maps bore the marks of hard experience setany, notes, warnings, and hopes inked beside the coastlines he knew so well, meant to serve future sailors on uncharted waters. By the time Peary Race was ready to begin his greatest undertaking, he had become a legend within Istanbul's circles of learning and power. But in his own eyes, he remained a student never satisfied, always drawn forward by the questions left unanswered. His journey toward the creation of a map that would challenge history was both the culmination of a life at sea and the beginning of an enduring mystery. As he prepared his instruments and carefully arranged his most prized sources, Peary stood at a crossroads between past and future. The sea outside whispered with promise, inviting another adventure. With every preparation, the captain felt the weight and possibility of what was to come, the chance to draw a map that would redefine the boundaries of the possible and leave his mark on the history of exploration itself. Chapter 3. A Puzzle of Fragments. In the dim light of his study, Peary Rice sat surrounded by parchments and memories, piecing together what would become his most famous map. Each fragment, each thread of knowledge, was a legacy from distant lands. Some pieces came from ancient charts passed hand to hand, others from whispers of sailors returning with wide-eyed tales of uncharted coasts. The room hummed with curiosity and longings unknown. Maps were not simple objects in Peary Rice's era. They were living puzzles drawn from scraps of knowledge, rumours, and careful measurements. The puzzle began with fragments of coastlines, the faint impressions of continents half remembered. Pyrrhus' hands moved methodically over the table, organising what was familiar, searching for patterns among scattered clues. His mind churned with questions. What secrets might lie in the gaps between these ancient lines? One slip of parchment bore the faded outline of a distant shore, labelled in an unfamiliar tongue. Another fragment gleamed with the symbol of a long-vanished kingdom. Each piece had its own story, a history handed down through generations of cartographers and adventurers. The challenge was immense. Could these fragments truly fit together, or would some mysteries remain just beyond reach? Peary laboured on, determined to give form to chaos. Some maps came through secretive channels, treasures rescued from fallen cities, or purchased quietly from foreign sailors who claimed to have glimpsed lands unknown. In Peary's mind, these maps became more than guides. They were keys to lost worlds, each offering a clue in the grand puzzle. Every map fragment brought with it a sense of wonder and a deepening unease about just how much remained in shadow. It was not only charts that inspired the Peary Rice map. Stories told around flickering lanterns and rumours passed in harbourside taverns filtered into his collected knowledge. Sometimes these were tales of phantom islands or rivers that vanished inland. Peary listened to them all, weighing each word carefully, knowing that legends often masked kernels of truth. The boundaries between story and fact blurred on his work table every night. In Ottoman archives, Peary found documents guarded for generations, accounts from early travellers, lists of stars used by navigators, scribbled notes from distant merchants. These sources mingled with the more secretive materials acquired from Spanish and Portuguese sources. The puzzle's edges grew clearer, but always there were spaces, empty gaps that hinted at continents unrevealed or lands erased by time's tide. Each blank held a promise and a provocation by time's tide. Each blank held a promise and a provocation. Peary's process was both painstaking and creative. He would study a scrap for hours, comparing it with others, seeking confirmation in the distances and shapes described. When one piece fit, a new segment of coastline would reveal itself, breathing life into ancient rumours. It was like assembling a tapestry of geography and myth, each strand woven carefully, building towards something that could astound even the most learned of his peers. Sometimes disagreements arose between the fragments. One chart might show a coastline that veered north, while another insisted it arched dramatically east. Peary was forced to choose which source held more truth. He weighed the experience of the mapmakers and the reliability of witnesses, sometimes splitting the difference, sometimes erasing entire sections to start again. His quest was not for perfection, but for a map that told the fullest story possible. The puzzle pieces did not just come from old charts or whispered tales. Peary drew on the stars themselves, using celestial navigation to anchor his map in mathematics. Ottoman sailors calculated distances by the movements of constellations, and their knowledge proved vital in resolving contradictions between sources. With compass and quadrant, Peary positioned each coastline, letting the universe above offer its guidance. The heavens shaped the map as much as the earth did. Each new addition to the map deepened its intrigue. Shapes that once appeared isolated on the parchment began to merge into recognisably real places, twisting rivers, spiked mountain chains, inlets crowding unfamiliar shores. Slowly, picture by picture, the silhouetted edges of continents formed from a background of myth. The process brought satisfaction, but also uncertainty. With every new connection, the size of the unknown seemed only to grow larger. There was an art in deciding what to include and what to leave out. Some rumours were too wild even for an adventurous mind, yet a few whispers, improbable though they seemed, found their way onto the map. Peary's decisions left traces of human judgment between the lines, proof that behind every charted coastline stood the choices of a careful hand. The map, a reflection of both the world and its maker, carried an imprint of his curiosity. Working late into the night, Peary would sometimes pause, marvelling at the shapes forming beneath his fingers. He wondered who else had tried these same puzzles in ages past, whose long-lost drawings whispered from the margins of his own creation. Perhaps the first explorers, gazing at unfamiliar horizons, felt a similar thrill and fear. Each finished section of the map was a message sent backward and forward in time, connecting all seekers of the unknown. Just as each fragment offered promise, it also hinted at secrets still unrevealed. Some scraps refused to fit any pattern, lines diverging from the reality Piri knew. These stubborn pieces gathered in a pile off to the side potential clues for another day. The more he assembled, the more he sensed there was something hidden, some knowledge just out of reach. The map teased him with its mysteries, refusing to offer simple answers. Occasionally, Piri consulted older navigators, those whose memories stretched back to distant voyages. These elders recalled ancient routes lost from modern charts, and sometimes their recollections revealed new ways to fit stubborn pieces together. Collecting experience like cartography itself, Piri became a vessel for knowledge, piecing together both memory and map to create something enduring. The wisdom of others, layered with his own, lent depth to every coastline drawn. It was through these conversations that new theories and possibilities entered the puzzle. Could islands described by sailors but absent from charts exist? Or were they mirages of hope and fear? Was it possible that continents reached farther south than anyone dared imagine? With each challenge, Piri tested the boundaries of belief and evidence, letting both guide his hand. The questions perched on the edge of reason, unresolved but endlessly compelling. There were moments of tension as sources contradicted one another. Some Spanish maps showed great lands where Ottoman records only noted open sea. Portuguese summaries hinted at islands with treasures untold, while old Arab texts described coastlines shaped by entirely different stars. Piri stood at the crossroads of cultures, his creation shaped by competing truths. The Piri race map became not only a chart, but a dialogue between worlds, each voice adding richness to the puzzle. In the heart of his work, Piri felt the presence of other seekers. Cartographers long gone, explorers from distant shores, all reaching toward a common goal to chart the world beyond the horizon. As each puzzle piece slipped into place, Piri acknowledged his debt to those who came before. Their efforts glimmered in every inked line and subtle curve. This map, carefully assembled, was both a tribute and a challenge to future generations. To create the final map required synthesis, taking scattered dreams and shaping them into a coherent whole. With quill and steady hand, Piri outlined borders, filled in rivers, and named places drawn from myth and memory. Sometimes he left gaps intentionally, for he believed a map should show not only what is known, but also invite further discovery. This philosophy imbued the map with a sense of possibility, whispering that the age of exploration was far from over. When the pieces finally formed a map, the result was breathtaking. A mosaic of knowledge and conjecture, daring and restraint. Looking at his work, Piri glimpsed not just the world's shape, but the spirit of adventure coursing through its veins. Each uncertain coastline and ambiguous island dared future explorers to seek the truth behind the lines. The puzzle was never fully solved. It thrived on investigation, doubt, and the promise of secrets yet to be uncovered. The map held anomalies, details that even Piri could not explain. Shapes of land unknown to his time, coastlines that appeared strangely precise, as if drawn with knowledge from centuries yet to come. These peculiarities sparked wonder and controversy, both in his own era and in ours. Every anomaly challenged the accepted narratives, prompting questions about what was possible, and who first glimpsed the outlines of continents still being born in the imaginations of cartographers. Even after the map was complete, Piri knew the puzzle would never truly be finished. Future generations would bring new fragments, new stories, rumours, and sightings to reshape old boundaries. The map was a living testament to human curiosity and the unfinished nature of knowledge itself. In every arc of ink, in every calculated guess, lived the hope that one day the world's last blank spaces might finally yield their truth. In quiet moments, Piri reflected on what his map might mean for those yet to come. Would they see proof of forgotten empires, lost voyages, or chance encounters across stormy seas? He could not answer. What he knew was that every explorer who gazed upon his map would be challenged to look beyond its surest lines, to question every certainty, and to seek out the beauty in the unknown. The puzzle continued to call. And so, the Piri Reis map remains half revelation, half enigma. It is as much a record of the past as a compass for the future. Its fragments, collected from every corner of the known world, form a story greater than any single legend or chart. The mystery at its heart endures, beckoning to the curious and bold alike. The puzzle of fragments, pieced together long ago, still invites us to explore the world's grandest mysteries. As the chapter closes, we leave Piri surrounded by his fragments, each one, a whisper of the world's infinite complexity. His map, composed of both certainty and speculation, serves as a reminder. Every age has its puzzles and possibilities. The journey to piece together our understanding never ends, and in the quiet, persistent work of discovery, we draw ever closer to the truth that lies just beyond the edge of every map. Chapter 4. Unveiling the Map. The moment has come. In a quiet chamber, Piri Reis carefully unrolls his masterpiece before an audience trembling with anticipation. The room is hushed, only the faint sound of parchment brushing against the table. As the map lies open, it radiates a strange sense of authority and elegance, each curve and detail inviting closer study. Time seems suspended as everyone beholds histories, secrets awakened at last. The light falls gently on the ancient map, illuminating lines that shimmer with careful artistry. The coastlines, drawn with such precision, capture every viewer's gaze. South America unfurls along the page, oddly smooth, strikingly accurate for its era. But it is the lower edge of vague, ghostly suggestion of Antarctic land that stirs whispers. The map's clarity instills awe and silent questions, leaving the audience transfixed by the vision before them. With each detail revealed, emotions heighten. Observers note the elegant script along the borders, marking unknown lands and curious notes written in Ottoman Turkish. The seas are shaded with gentle blue, and ships drift across painted waters. It feels as though continents breathe beneath Piri Reis' brush. For a moment, those watching sense what it must have meant to glimpse new worlds, to believe the impossible, and to stand at the edge of discovery. As eyes trace the mysterious southern coastline, a surge of awe washes through the room. Some murmur in disbelief. How could this man from 5 centuries past sketch lands that remain wild and enigmatic even today? The depiction of Antarctica, centuries before its formal charting, sends a shiver through those present. The clarity and symmetry in the map's illustration evoke both wonder and a growing realization. This artifact challenges everything they thought they knew. Attention lingers on the delicate reds and greens used to denote distant coasts. River mouths and inlets are marked with careful flourishes. The Atlantic currents, swirling in subtle brushwork, hint at a knowledge far beyond ordinary navigators of the age. Even the finest line sharpers and unknown islands speak to Piri Reis' unmatched cartographic artistry. Silence stretches in the chamber, broken only by soft, measured breaths as the crowd absorbs every exquisite detail. A scholar in the corner leans forward, tracing his finger just above the surface, afraid to touch. He studies the unfamiliar script, deciphering curious annotations about creatures and uncertain lands. The map's surface glows with possibility. Every written word suggests a story untold, ancient seafarers, lost sources, whispered secrets from travellers' tales. Watching this, even the onlookers sense that the map guards mysteries greater than mere geography legend now unfurled. Piri Reis himself watches the crowd, his expression one of calm pride mingled with anticipation. He knows the journey woven into the maptha fragments gathered from sailors, explorers, and faded manuscripts. To him, each coastline is a memory and a question answered. To the audience, the unveiling feels like a window into distant ages where knowledge and uncertainty braided together and the world's unknown corners called out to every wandering soul. Some point out the contours of Brazil, so recognizable and precise that it might have been drawn from above. Others marvel at the depiction of the Caribbean, with its archipelagos scattered like jewels across the painted sea. That uncanny sense of rightness a geography outpacing its time unsettles even seasoned navigators. For a moment, everyone gathered is transported, seeing the Americas as bold explorers once did, their imaginations afire with nascent dreams. The narration lingers on a subtle detail, the odd-inked suggestion of mountains near the bottom of the map. These lines, neither wholly imaginary nor fully accurate, point towards something that should not be there, a shadow of Antarctica, long before its ice revealed itself to the world. This feature draws surprised gasps. Quiet speculation flows around the room, as if each observer is the first to glimpse this impossible foresight, echoing down through centuries. As the explorers' fingers trace the painted edge of South America, the colours shift in the lamplight. The coastline bends precisely, outlining river basins with uncanny understanding. Some believe they see marks left by ancient ports now lost to time. The effect is mesmerising. The boundaries between fact and legend blur. For those present, the Piri race map is no longer just a document. It has become a living bridge between eras, inviting everyone to wonder anew. The stillness in the chamber holds like a physical force. No one dares break the spell cast by the unveiled parchment. The sea monsters in the map's margins watch silently, rendered playful yet oddly menacing. It is as though their creator hoped to remind viewers that danger persisted at the edges of the known world. Alongside navigational feats, Piri Reis painted the uncertainty of his Age-Kether monsters of myth, mingling with the promise of scientific discovery. A soft voice reads aloud some of the annotations along the coast's enigmatic phrases that hint at forgotten sources. Legends of distant lands and islands, hearsay from lost voyagers, each line conjures images of adventure and peril. These notes, rich with imagination, frame the map not only as a scientific marvel, but as a living chronicle. Even as awe dominates the room, a gentle sense of yearning spreads echoes of people who dared to chart the boundaries of the world. To witnesses, the map seems to breathe under the weight of centuries. The parchment's faint creases and faded pigments are not flaws, but scars of its creation's perilous journey. Each blemish tells how this knowledge was fought for, gathered ship by ship, story by story. The viewers feel themselves drawn into history, transported far beyond a quiet Ottoman chamber, their minds wandering along the coasts, forests and ghostly lands portrayed in ink so long ago. A gentle breeze plays at one corner of the fragile page, making the oceans ripple with imagined currents. The effect electrifies the imagination. What storms did ancient explorers weather to gather this data? What secrets rode upon the waves, eventually finding their way into Piri Reis' careful hands? Each undulation of the map seems to hint at the world's hidden pulse, and the spectators find themselves both humbled and exhilarated by what has been preserved. The chamber gradually fills with whispered theories. Some ponder the sources of the maps. Uncanny accuracy-lost charts, tales from strange travellers, perhaps even ancient knowledge handed down through centuries. The attention to detail, from the precise geometry of landforms to the poetic script, leaves historians in awe. Yet, with each answer the map provides, more questions unfurl. The revelation becomes a dialogue across time, a conversation between the known and the unknown. As sunlight fades, golden lamps flicker to life, casting the parchment's colours in amber warmth. The reds and ochres deepen, lending an even more mysterious quality to the map. The figures gathered find themselves lost in thought, reflecting on how a single artifact could shift the axis of understanding. Echoes of distant lands, unreachable horizons, and intrepid journeys resound in their imaginations. They stand, for just a moment, beside Piri Reis on the threshold of discovery. One young scribe, barely breathing, clutches his own parchment, inspired to record what he sees for future generations. He sketches the coastlines, determined that this moment of revelation will not be lost. In every corner of the chamber, minds race with the implications. What if more maps like this exist, waiting to tell their stories? The Piri Reis map becomes a catalytic call to learn, to explore, and to question the world's deepest mysteries. The calm narrator lingers on the emotional weight of the unveiling. For centuries, the boundaries of the world shifted from myth toward reality. Now, as the assembly gazes at the map's uncanny details, those old boundaries are blurred once again. Wonder, disbelief, and a subtle undercurrent of fear mingle in the air, a realization that every answer holds the seed of new questions. Piri Rice's legacy is now the shared inheritance of all curious souls. For a fleeting instant, the chamber becomes a crossroads. Explorers, scholars, and dreamers meet across centuries, united by a common awe. The Piri Rice map, delicately illuminated, offers them all a glimpse of continents known and unknown, a simultaneous tribute to what had been discovered, and a tantalizing hint about all that remained hidden. The silence that follows is profound, as if the world itself is pausing to consider this new revelation. In the hush, someone asks quietly about the missing sections, the continents unseen, the coasts left incomplete. These absences, too, are powerful. They draw speculation. What might have filled those gaps? What stories were erased by time or conquest? Even in its incomplete state, the map's mystery only deepens. The onlookers realise that knowledge is always a patchwork, woven from both what has been discovered and what remains beyond the veil of memory. The narrator guides viewers through the last sweeping details. The blossoming rivers, the intricately shaded forests, every emblematic marker. Each brushstroke is considered, both a feat of artistry and a message from another time. The viewers are left with a visceral appreciation for the ambition that guided Piri Rice, his pursuit of charts both beautiful and bewildering. The silence in the chamber grows gentle and introspective, as the assembled crowd senses the immensity of the world yet to be understood. Finally, the assembled audience rises slowly, each individual carrying away a different fragment of inspiration. One sees the beauty in the maps, calligraphy. Another is haunted by the depiction of southern lands. The weight of centuries lingers as they leave, minds alight with fresh questions. Some will become historians, others explorers, but all share a newfound sense of a conviction that the world is still vast, and mystery will never be complete. As the last lamplight glimmers on the ancient parchment, the map is carefully rolled up, once more its secrets guarded for another generation. Yet the encounter has changed everyone present. In unveiling the map, they have been touched by the spirit of Piri Rice, challenged to explore, to examine, and to dream beyond the boundaries of their time. The legend of the map endures, quietly shaping the future from the shadows of the past. So concludes the unveiling of Piri Rice's extraordinary map. The vivid coastlines, enigmatic notations, and haunting southern lands now live in the minds of all who witnessed its revelation. Its brilliance and its mystery shave only grown. The story of exploration is forever changed. And for those who have glimpsed its wonders, a single, powerful question lingers. How much of the world still waits to be discovered, just beyond the edge of the known? Chapter 5. The Echoes of the Old World. Let us journey backwards through time, tracing the slender threads of knowledge that underpin the Piri Rice map. Long before ink met parchment in the hands of 16th century cartographers, ancient civilizations studied the stars, the seas, and the world's contours. In these echoes, we look for forgotten whispers, clues beneath every carefully drawn line and symbol. Roman scholars copied the wisdom of Greeks before them, but even the Greeks drew from earlier sources, lost to all but myth. Imagine old scrolls traded along bustling markets, their languages fading, their ideas transformed. Each new generation left its imprints in boldly, some with delicate hands. Upon the map, layered secrets accumulate, a tapestry woven not just from places, but from memories themselves. Across continents, fragments of parchment drifted, carried in the packs of traders, tucked within libraries, and passed quietly between curious souls. With every exchange, a sliver of understanding travelled further. Stories and measurements, shapes of coastlines, and fabled islands, all quietly migrated across civilizations. These silent messengers gave explorers the courage to chase the horizon, guided by shadows of knowledge centuries old. Roman and Greek thinkers measured the world with careful logic and celestial observation. They charted stars, calculated distances, and mapped lands thought unreachable. But their calculations relied on whispers from an even older past, knowledge passed down through oral traditions and mysterious artifacts. The Piri race map, it seems, is more than a single storiette. It is a chorus of voices from civilizations cascading through time. Were there civilizations still more ancient, now lost to sand and sea, whose geometric wisdom flows across the map's contours, who first traced the arc of South America's coast, or depicted islands unknown to Europe? Legendary lands like Atlantis once teased scholars and dreamers, but perhaps their legacy is woven, ever so faintly, through the cartographic lines. With each mark, the past gently resurfaces and beckons us forward. Each hand that touched the map's knowledge left an imprint sometimes bold, sometimes nearly erased. Imagine the silent scribe by lamplight translating a half-remembered tale, or a mariner sketching coastlines between storms. These small moments, scattered across the centuries, converge in a single artifact. The Piri rice map is not just geography, it is a living record of human connection, a testament to memory and wonder. The oldest lines on the map may belong to unknown minds, those whose names are lost, but whose discoveries endure in ink and idea. A fragment of a coastline, a notation in an unfamiliar script, each could hint at cultures that flourished long before Rome or Athens. As time swept their monuments away, their wisdom lingered like a faint echo, cherished every time a cartographer pressed quill to parchment. Some scholars have wondered, do these map lines contain echoes of libraries burned and empires fallen? The Library of Alexandria, whispered about in awe and sorrow, held charts and records now lost to fire. Did a scrap survive on a merchant ship hidden under crates of spice? Did a monk, centuries later, lovingly copy its fragment onto a fresh page, forever preserving a glimpse of the ancient world? The transmission of knowledge is a fragile miracle. Voices travel through time, not in grand declarations, but through everyday acts translations, corrections, reinterpretations. The Piri rice map's mysterious segments invite us to imagine unknown collaborators, navigators describing distant shores, scholars cross-referencing old texts, all united by a drive to understand the world. It is this silent network that shaped the world's most enigmatic map. Even the errors and distortions in the map tell a story. Misread longitudes, exaggerated bays, or phantom islands are not mere mistakes. They are evidence of adaptation, creative guessing, and the perils of memory whispered across generations. In every blunder, we find the earnest yearning to fill in the blanks of the world, to reach beyond what is known and draw the faint outline of a dream. The ink of different eras blends on the Piri rice map, creating a palimpsest of exploration. Roman engineers, Greek philosophers, Phoenician sailors. Their insights are grafted, often invisibly, into the work of later hands. As map makers pressed parchment, some knowledge was lost, but more was reborn, evolving with each retelling. In deciphering these layers, we do not just learn about places, we rediscover the persistent heart of curiosity. To hold such a map is to hold a mystery crafted by time itself. The designs and symbols may appear cryptic or familiar, but they are windows into minds once seeking order beneath the stars. Some theorize that the map's precision in depicting distant coastlines stems from travellers far older than we once believed, cultures that mapped the world with remarkable subtlety, leaving faint guidance for those who came after. Ancient mariners set sail on open waters, guided only by the stars and stories passed from elder to apprentice. Their knowledge, encoded in rhyme or symbol, often survived where monuments did not. Each journey added a detail to the sum of the world, and over centuries these scattered fragments collected like droplets to form a sea of memory etched finally in the sweeping lines of the Piri rice map. Some mysteries are hidden in plain sight, like an odd flourish on a coastline or a name in an old tongue. The more we gaze at the Piri Reis map, the more we wonder which details are inventions, which are echoes of lands now vanished. In every question, the spirit of lost knowledge whispers, daring us to piece together the past with care, humility, and a sense of awe. Even as we marvel at the science behind the map, we sense the mythic beneath the measured lines. Heroes of legend and explorers in fragile boats all left their mark, not just in chronicles, but encoded in the world's earliest charts. Perhaps, embedded in the map's very fabric, are hints of routes taken by ancient ships and the forgotten wisdom of those who trusted the stars more than any compass. Transmission through the ages was not always deliberate. Sometimes a wrong turn or a misunderstood tale wove a curious error into the tapestry. Other times, deliberate secrecy meant maps were encoded, lines drawn to mislead as much as to guide. Yet, over time, truth and imagination mingled, giving us relics like the Piri Reis map, fragile portals into the roaming dreams of lost civilizations. Beneath every coast traced on the map lies a human story of settlers marking safe harbours, of traders discovering new routes, and of scholars striving to make sense of a sprawling world. The silent language of lines and shapes embodies centuries of collaboration, sometimes across cultures long at odds. In reading these patterns, we join a chain of searchers and rememberers bound together by curiosity. For every piece of wisdom passed from civilization to civilization, something was altered and something was preserved. Over time, as names and places swapped hands, so did errors, yet also inspiration and possibility. The Piri Reis map is a chorus of voices, some bright and clear, others fading gently into legend. To study it is to listen for those echoes, and to see the world through the eyes of our ancestors. Today, historians trace not only the physical map, but the intellectual routes by which knowledge travelled, the Silk Roads, Mediterranean crossings, and desert caravans. Each served as a conduit, delivering tales, calculations, and art from hand to hand. The echoes of the old world persist within the Piri Reis map, reminders of the invisible journey knowledge must endure to survive wars, storms, and the relentless passing of time. In the end, the Piri Reis map invites us to ponder not just what ancient people knew, but how they came to know it. Through failures, triumphs, and transmissions nearly halted by disaster, the world's wisdom seeped forward, always incomplete but ever richer with retelling. As we peer into the intricate script and unfamiliar coastlines, we glimpse our own reflection in those searcher humans yearning to understand. The faint marks and faded ink may appear unremarkable, but their endurance is miraculous. Each layer of the Piri Reis map represents a Liapa fragment gathered, remembered, and set down in faith that someone, someday, would be curious enough to look further. In the silence between the lines we find the heartbeat of the old world, and the promise that wonder never truly disappears. Legends say maps can be keys as well as records, guides to hidden realms or gateways to lost civilizations. The Piri Reis map is not just a mirror of the known, but an invitation to seek the unknown. By studying its origins, we listen for echoes we can barely imagine, and feel the invisible thread that binds our present to ages long past. The journey is never truly over. As our chapter draws toward its close, we ponder the map not only as a feat of cartography, but as a living conversation with history. Each reader, each explorer who traces a line with their gaze, adds another voice to the dialogue. In such relics, the boundaries of time thin, and we walk once more beside Romans, Greeks, and dreamers whose worlds became our own foundation. Through the Piri Reis map, the echoes of the old world continue to resonate, guiding our imagination to distant horizons. We remember that even the most mysterious objects are shaped by countless hands and minds, each building upon the other. And as we hold this legacy in our modern moment, we are called to listen, to wonder, and to look a little deeper, seeking the stories written between the lines. Chapter 6. The Age of Discovery Awakened. As whispers of the Piri Reis map began to drift across the grand halls of Europe, a subtle yet powerful current stirred beneath the surface of the known world. In shadowed chambers and candlelit libraries, scholars, captains and kings all strained to catch the faint echoes of this discovery. Suspicion and hope mingled as each nation realized the stakes had just changed forever. The map's arrival was not just a curiosity, but a seismic event. For the Spanish and Portuguese, titans of the Atlantic, news of such a detailed chart was both thrilling and terrifying. What hidden coastlines had they missed? What secrets did this map reveal about lands yet unclaimed? Questions raced ahead of facts, and ambition overran caution, igniting a fresh wave of curiosity and unease. Within days, copies and rumours spread through merchant quarters, royal courts, and the homes of navigators. Every eye that flickered over the lines and symbols of the Piri Reis map sensed its value. The world, once vast and unknowable, suddenly seemed a little smaller. Its mysteries drawn together on old parchment, waiting for the boldest to seize the advantage. Time itself felt accelerated. As word spread, Europe's great maritime powers scrambled to secure any edge possible. Spain's royal court convened secret councils, poring over hastily made reproductions. The Portuguese, guarded and proud, dispatched their own agents to investigate. Soon, calm study gave way to covert missions, coded correspondence, and a rising sense that every moment lost might cost an empire. For navigators, the map became both a beacon and a challenge. Old routes were suddenly reconsidered. Captains debated whether ancient dangers were now outdated, or if unforeseen perils lurked along these newly illuminated coastlines. Even seasoned sailors found themselves dreaming of lands only guessed at before this revelation, plotting their next voyages with a restless anticipation. Meanwhile, scholars scrutinized the map's unique features. Unfamiliar depictions of South America, fragments of distant islands, and hints of Antarctic coastlines. Theories unfurled in every direction. Had the Ottomans gathered forgotten wisdom from travellers? Was this map proof of lost civilizations with navigational skills beyond their time? Wonder blended with doubt in every learned debate. Amid this fervour, rivalry burned hot. Portuguese informants watched Spanish harbours. Letters bearing wax seals crossed borders in haste. Devices for measuring longitude and latitude were improved or jealously guarded. Even small errors on other charts were scrutinised anew as every nation sought perfectionif, only to outguess or outpace their rivals across the globe. The map made its way into the lecture halls of universities. Professors drew students close as they described uncharted lands, their chalk scratching outlines inspired by Piri Reis. Imagination soared, and budding cartographers found themselves at the forefront of a discipline suddenly vital to power, politics and adventure. The thirst for knowledge eclipsed tradition, pressing minds forward. Not all were satisfied with study and speculation. Resourceful explorers plotted direct expeditions, seeking to test the map's revelations firsthand. Ships were provisioned, crews selected for courage and skill. Lines once considered the edge of the world were now invitation scrawlings for new journeys that might confirm or confound what was inked upon this singular artefact. Intrigue deepened across Europe's capitals. Neutral parties, Italians, Dutch, even the English sought glimpses and copies. Some hoped to purchase the map or bribe an Ottoman official for a night's access. Trusted messengers became invaluable, their silent departures and arrivals closely watched by all. No one wished to be left behind as destiny tipped the scales towards those bold enough to act. Tensions mounted as the repercussions spread. Anxious diplomats pressed their sovereigns for decisions should they ally or compete even more fiercely. Advisors recalled ancient tales and recent conquests, trying to predict which path might secure wealth and glory. The sense of sudden, urgent competition infected all levels of society, driving an unprecedented wave of innovation and risk. Beyond the courts, merchants dreamed of vast profits in uncharted markets. They pestered officials and lobbied for chartered journeys. Inns and marketplaces buzzed with rumours, and tales of fortune grew with each telling. Practical men weighed the risks and rewards. Some saw opportunity in chaos, while others feared the coming wave of conflict that always seemed to follow such discoveries. Even among common people, hopes were rekindled. Families with ties to the sea pondered new horizons. Perhaps their sons would return home rich from exotic lands charted by the Piri race map. The promise of adventure spread like wildfire, warming cold kitchens and filling humble nights with talk of what might be. A new age beckoned, and uncertainty was sweeter than before. Nature itself now felt within arm's reach. Rivers, mountains and coastlines, once only uttered in hushed myths, began to appear in sketches pinned on walls from Lisbon to Seville. Artists and writers set about capturing these images in their own style, feeding the public's longing for the unknown and cementing the map's place in the imagination of an entire continent. Still, the source of the Piri race map remained a tantalizing mystery. Some dismissed its accuracy as luck, while others whispered of lost ancient mariners and secret books. The Ottomans claimed a network of collected wisdom, yet the truth eluded all. In the absence of answers, speculation grew, and with every new guess, the legend deepened. Curiosity became obsession. Sailors eyed each other warily in harbour taverns, sharing stories some barely believed themselves. They wondered if hidden currents or lands really existed where the map suggested. Hints of Antarctic shores and mysterious jungles fired their imaginations, challenging tales passed from father to son. Experience and rumour mixed, reshaping the age-old tales of the sea into something fresh and electrifying. Meanwhile, secret societies and learned circles debated late into the night. Some argued for the map's authenticity, others for skepticism. Arguments grew passionate, friendships strained over theories of ancient sources or contemporary forgery. Through it all, everyone sensed that their era might stand poised at a threshold own foot in legend, the other in a future whose boundaries would never be the same. Across the Mediterranean, north through France, England and beyond, hints of the Piri rice map began influencing local maps and charts. Small modifications appeared, coastlines adjusted, islands cautiously inked in where none were once marked. Cartographers respected tradition but could not resist innovation, feeling the pressure to keep pace with discovery. The age of old maps was drawing to a close. Religious leaders, too, pondered the implications of the map. Did it confirm some divine design, or threaten to upend cherished beliefs about the world's arrangement? Homilies and sermons took on new urgency as the faithful and the curious alike sought to reconcile faith with newfound evidence. In monasteries and cathedrals, quiet prayers mingled with bold theories, binding the sacred to the scientific. Rumours inevitably bred conspiracy. Some hinted that the Ottomans might possess yet more secret maps, even more precise, hidden in locked vaults or monasteries. It was said that only favoured sultans or trusted scholars could glimpse these treasures. Such tales half fear, half envy stoked more aggressive efforts by other nations to probe, steal or bargain for similar cartographic treasures. The ramifications travelled across the seas themselves. The Americascent's distant, almost mythic no, loomed closer in the minds of European rulers. A new sense of immediacy crept into plans for conquest or trade. Expeditions hastened to set sail, some hoping to beat rivals to river mouths, gold mines, or unknown coasts first suggested by the enigmatic geometry of the Piri Reis map. Old authorities faced new tests. Trusted explorers, once lauded for their knowledge, suddenly found themselves questioned by ambitious newcomers. Debates over technique and truth broke out in royal chambers and before merchant councils. The map's seductive power made everyone equal anxious for the secrets it might yet yield, unwilling to stay idle while others raced toward the horizon. In this fevered climate, legends and facts blended. Taverns echoed with boasts of future exploits, while ballads and poems immortalised explorers whose journeys had yet to begin. The age of discovery, once a proud march into the unknown, now became a furious sprint. With every retelling, the Piri Reis map became not just a tool, but a living force, a symbol of human restlessness and hope. By the chapter's end, the world stands forever changed. The map's arrival unravelled old certainties, forcing Europe to look beyond its boundaries and imagine new possibilities. Nations moved with renewed urgency, and individuals dreamed with greater boldness. The age of discovery had been awakened in full, setting in motion a future where exploration would shape every corner of the globe. Chapter 7. Mysteries Beneath the Ice. As our eyes wander to the lower reaches of the Piri Reis map, a chill settles in. There, etched upon parchment, is a coastline said to be Antarctica, drawn centuries before explorers set foot there. It is more than a curiosity, it is a riddle. How could knowledge of this icy continent exist so long before its official discovery? And what does this reveal about our past? Cartographers and historians alike have puzzled over the presence of Antarctica's outline on the 1513 map. Was it artistic license, ancient legend, or evidence of something extraordinary lost to time? The coastline appears shockingly accurate, tracing features hidden beneath today's thick sheets of ice. For centuries, this depiction has mystified scholars, fueling theories that reach far beyond what we are taught in textbooks. Some scientists propose that the map's southern lands depict not Antarctica as we know it, but instead the coast of South America, misdrawn and stretched by the limits of 16th century geography. Yet, the resemblance is uncanny, suggesting a deeper knowledge than mere guesswork. This haunting accuracy has inspired decades of research, debate, and even dreams of ancient mariners braving frozen seas long before official records began. There are those who point to the Orontius, Phineas and Buac maps, later works that also seem to show Antarctic contours. Together, these maps spark ever more questions. Did early explorers possess charts passed down through unknown civilizations? Or did they misinterpret stories and artifacts gathered on distant shores? The awe and wonder of these icy mysteries echo through the ages, tugging at our sense of what is possible. The speculation does not end with the map's shape. Some enthusiasts believe the Piri Reis chart reveals Antarctic features that are now buried beneath miles of ice. Modern surveys have indeed uncovered landforms matching those in the old map, hidden under layers that scientists say have existed for thousands of years. How could anyone, 500 years ago, have mapped what cannot be seen with the naked eye? Skeptics urge caution against fantastical leaps. They argue that projecting ancient knowledge onto coincidental shapes invites more myth than truth. Yet, the detail remains undeniable, and so does the allure. The map's southern coasts continue to invite bold questions. Where do legend and learning intertwine, and which moments are shadows of real voyagers now lost beneath the polar ice? Each fresh discovery from Antarctica's frozen interior brings new comparisons. Imaginations run wild with the thought of maps handed down from forgotten civilizations, echoing across millennia. Is there a seed of truth in these patterns traced by old hands? Or are we seeing only what we wish to find, drawing stories from coincidence and hope? Such is the magic of history's greatest puzzles. The very landscape of Antarctica lies locked beneath impenetrable icier world, as remote to 16th century sailors as the moon. And yet, the coastline on the Piri Reis map seems to acknowledge its existence. Some suggest ancient sailors gleaned knowledge from drifting icebergs and patterns in the stars. Others believe whispers of such distant lands were passed from sailor to sailor, transformed along the way. Debates continue among scholars. Was this Antarctic shape an honest mistake, a blend of lore and myth, or a legacy of true global exploration? In 1513, the world was still expanding in the minds of mapmakers. Rumours of lands beyond every horizon seeped into parchment and ink. Perhaps, in those remote corners, stories of southern ice found a place on legendary charts like Piri Reis. As we study the ancient map, wonder grows. It is not merely a documented, it is an invitation to question everything we know about exploration. Did an earlier civilization with advanced knowledge pass these secrets down? Or did the fertile imagination of explorers reshape the limits of the unknown, placing frozen mysteries just beyond reach? The Piri Reis map whispers possibilities in every line. To uncover the truth, scientists have used satellite imagery and radar to compare modern Antarctica's hidden coastline with the ancient depiction. In some places, the resemblance is astonishing, but not universal. There are differences, lines that waver, bays that do not exist. The uncertainty adds yet another layer to the enigma. The boundary between accident and evidence is always shifting, always blurred. Other experts argue that ancient mapmakers combined rumour, real experience, and imagination. They claim that the map's Antarctic coastline is likely an artefact of accidental blending, a merging of the known and suspected. But such doubts only add to the Piri Reis map's charm. Its mysteries make us question history's boundaries, its truths, and its untold secrets beneath the ice. The allure of the unknown is powerful. Even today, Antarctica resists efforts to be fully charted and understood. Each time explorers set out onto its hostile terrain, they encounter challenges not so different from those that plagued the world's first navigators. In this way, the map's mystery remains alive, an echo of the adventurers who dared to imagine what lay beneath the frozen horizon. This fascination extends into the world of lost civilizations. Some theorists propose that survivors from ancient forgotten cultures crossed immense distances before our records began carrying their knowledge with them, encoded in stories and symbols. They ask, could such a culture have glimpsed Antarctic shores before they were sealed in ice? The idea persists, captivating hearts and stirring debate across generations. For others, the answer is rooted in the practical. They suggest that mapmakers pieced together snippets of knowledge from fishermen, travellers and traders. Word of icy lands drifting through ports and taverns became interwoven with maps as cartographers sought to fill in the blanks. The world was full of mysteries, and fear of the unknown was balanced by a thirst for discovery. As analysis deepens, so too does the sense of awe. The thought that humanity's curiosity pushed boundaries this far back in time is inspiring. Did the creators of the Piri Reis map know they were shaping history? Or were they merely gathering fragments from a world in flux, unaware that their work would one day become the centerpiece of such intrigue and speculation? Every theory about the Antarctic coastline on the Piri Reis map has its champions and critics. Some lean toward lost knowledge, others toward a patchwork of errors and ambition. What unites all these efforts is the enduring appeal of the mystery. Each layer of ice and history uncovered invites further exploration, blending science and story in the cold, silent world beneath the southern pole. The mood of debate reflects the Antarctic itself, calm on the surface, yet churning with hidden currents below. Scientists peer into ice cores for secrets, while storytellers dream of ancient ships sailing beneath forgotten stars. Both disciplines search for answers, feeding off each other's discoveries, always chasing after that trace of truth lurking beneath the white expanse. Yet, for all our modern satellites and scientific prowess, some parts of this enigma remain untouched. The precise origins of the Piri Reis map's southern coastline may never be known. Perhaps the real lesson is how such ancient mysteries encourage us to keep questioning, to value wonder as much as fact, curiosity as much as certainty, in the ongoing adventure of understanding our history. In classrooms, museums, and quiet moments of contemplation, the Piri Reis map continues to ignite curiosity. Its mysteries serve as a powerful reminder that history is not completely written. There are still hidden chapters, waiting to be revealed, perhaps beneath the ice, perhaps in the corners of old libraries, or in the minds of those willing to look past the obvious. Antarctica's presence on the 1513 map is more than a historical oddity. It is a symbol. It tells us that every age is full of puzzles, just waiting for seekers to unravel their threads. Whether the map's icy coastline is founded on knowledge, legend, or hope, it connects us to the brave explorers who dared to chart the unknown, and to the storytellers who keep those mysteries alive. Today, we view the Piri Reis map with equal parts skepticism and admiration. Its depiction of the southernmost world is like a reflection in a frosted, mirror-distorted, beautiful, teasing at truths that may never fully surface. In the spirit of all great adventures, the map opens new roads for imagination and poses questions that are, perhaps, more valuable than their answers. The ice-covered mystery draws us in, reminding us that even the greatest empires once gazed blindly into the unknown. The courage to imagine lands beyond sight is shared by all who have ever sought discovery. The Piri Reis map is a legacy of this spirit, a testament to both uncertainty and hope, guiding us through history's shadows toward the light of understanding. In the end, the Piri Reis map's depiction of Antarctica endures as one of exploration's great riddles. Its secrets may forever slumber beneath the ice, yet its lines challenge us to keep searching beyond the maps we know. In every age, there is wonder waiting at the edges of our knowledge, and it is there, amid the mysteries beneath the ice, that new adventures begin. Chapter 8. The Cartographer's Legacy. The years roll on, but the mysterious lines drawn by Piri Reis linger in sailors' minds. Whispered across tavern tables and in the quiet corners of ancient libraries, his map becomes more than a tool. It becomes a legend. A single parchment carries the hopes of explorers to the edges of known worlds, shaping destinies even centuries beyond the cartographer's own time. No voyage remains untouched by the influence of Piri Reis' chart. Explorers of every generation return to its enigmatic curves, searching for meaning within its cryptic symbols and startling coastlines. The map's presence weaves into the very fabric of global navigation, an invisible thread guiding those who seek to rewrite what's possible on the world's vast, uncharted oceans. As the world's borders grow and transform, the Piri Reis map takes on a life of its own. It is copied, studied and debated in royal courts and among scholarly societies, each version a testimony to its enduring mystery. While other charts weather away, this one, with all its flaws and wonders, remains a lodestar, a beacon for the restless and the curious. Stories swirl about what secrets the map might contain. Some whisper it hides truths about ancient seafarers who mapped the icebound ends of the earth. Others insist it's a vision of cartographers' dream of lands forever lost or yet to be found. These legends grow alongside the map's reputation, feeding the ambitions of those who refuse to let go of mystery. In quiet study halls, later explorers pore over the faded lines of Piri Reis' masterpiece. They cross-reference his work with their own journeys, finding strange correspondences and unanswered riddles. The map perplexes and inspires all at once, urging its viewers to look beyond familiar shores and question the limits of their own knowledge. Naval commanders and natural philosophers alike debate the origins of certain coastlines on the map. Heated discussions echo through marble-floored halls. Was it memory or myth guiding Piri Reis' hand? Each heated debate helps ensure the map's place in the lore of exploration, its details forever scrutinized but never fully understood. Over time, the Piri Reis map passes through the hands of emperors, scholars and adventurers. It becomes a sort of holy relic, touched with reverence and a sense of awe. Those who glimpse the map feel a tremor of possibility. Each trace an echo of ancient knowledge that refuses to fade into history's shadows. Legends of far-off lands swirl around the map. Travellers argue over the origins of certain shapes along its margins, convinced these are windows onto hidden kingdoms or long-vanished civilizations. In the candlelit glow of map rooms, stories bloom, transforming geography into fairy tale and speculation into resolve. At the turn of every new age in navigation, echoes of Piri Reis' artistry resurface. Each fresh discovery, each coastline made tangible, compels navigators to revisit his chart for clues. Some dismiss its oddities, while others grow haunted by the possibility that it holds glimpses of truths not yet revealed, quietly beckoning us onward. The map becomes a bridge between eras. It stands as evidence that knowledge can be lost, changed, or reborn. That discovery itself is a cycle. Piri Reis' legacy is now interwoven with the hopes and fears of all who search for meaning at the world's edge. His parchment embraces wonder, folding past and future together on a single, fragile sheet. Curiosity deepens each time the map is studied. A new generation tries to reconstruct the journeys Piri Reis may have traced upon his own seas, piecing together fragments from lost manuscripts and sailors' tales. With every investigation, his legacy is refreshed. The map transforms into an ever-changing puzzle. Its intrigue is enduring as the oceans it so boldly charts. Some scholars claim to find the drifting shadows of vanished continents along the map's edges, while others believe it preserves things we have not yet discovered. Each theory, each interpretation, weaves another thread into the tapestry of legend. The map, at once clear and obscure, lures the brave and the wise to look beyond conventional wisdom. Centuries pass, but fascination with Piri Reis never dims. Libraries in Istanbul and far beyond become sanctuaries for his work, where the gentle flutter of parchment stirs restless imaginings. Mapmakers pay homage to this legacy, carefully tracing outlines in hope that some hidden spark of its genius will inspire their own hands as it did so long ago. As empires rise and fall, the map outlives them all. It remains a relic from a time when the world itself seemed infinite, when every voyage into the unknown was an act of faith. The chart, battered by centuries, acts as a testament to human curiosity, a guide for those willing to question what is known and seek out mysteries waiting at the world's edge. Piri Reis' creation becomes the subject of myth and speculation in every age. Writers and poets evoke its strange coastlines in verse and tale, using it as a symbol of the thin veil between knowledge and dream. To seek the truth behind its details is to surrender to wonder itself, peering into a space where certainty slips away and possibility flourishes. The map's allure endures perhaps because it refuses easy answers. Each generation projects new mysteries onto its aged surface, using it as a starting point for fresh chapters in the never-ending story of discovery. In this way, Piri Reis' vision carries forward, serving as both anchor and sail for those adrift on the tides of exploration. Imagination and science meet across the map's aged surface. Astronomers, historians and navigators gather, each bringing new questions and revealing unexpected patterns woven through the parchment. The map becomes a living artifact. In every era, it challenges minds to reach beyond accepted truths and envision distant lands yet unnamed. Some claim the chart points to worlds we can only dream of. Fragments of Atlantean shores, perhaps, or ancient routes now swallowed by rising tides. Others insist it is simply the product of genius and careful observation. Wherever one stands, the map's true origins remain stubbornly elusive, its legend quietly expanding with each retelling across generations. Piri Reis' map, studied by candlelight and curiosity, invites reflection as much as action. What knowledge have we lost to the centuries, and what possibilities await rediscovery? In these moments of contemplation, the map transcends its original purpose. It becomes an emblem of hope, a reminder that unknown horizons always beckon those who choose to see. Through all revolutions, scientific, geographic and cultural, the essence of Piri Reis' work persists. The map's lines, blurred by time, remain a bridge from the past to the future. Every journey that references its secrets is not only a quest for land, but a meditation on the power of human curiosity and the enduring spirit of adventure. Museums now enshrine the map behind glass, yet its energy cannot be contained. Visitors stand transfixed before its surface, imagining the dangers and dreams of those who once relied upon it. With each generation, the legend expands, and the idea of exploration becomes something deeply personal and inheritance from those who dared first to draw the world anew. As the sun sets on another century, the map's faded lines still pulse with meaning. The spirit of discovery runs through each contour. It is both artifact and invitation. For explorers of the mind and soul, the Piri Reis map whispers a timeless message. There is always more to seek, more shores to find, and more mysteries to draw into the light. The story of the Piri Reis map does not end, even though its maker is long gone. Instead, his legacy lives wherever open minds and daring hearts gather. Today, as centuries before, the map remains a puzzlier challenge to future explorers to imagine more boldly and venture beyond what has ever been seen. So, as we leave this chapter, let us listen one last time to the soft call of discovery woven within the map's faint lines. Piri Reis' legacy travels on, not just on parchment, but in the ambitions of all who seek knowledge. The world remains vast and mysterious, and legends like his urge us onward, always yearning to know what lies beyond the horizon. Chapter 9. Revelations and Controversy. In modern times, the Piri Reis map draws sharper scrutiny than ever before. Scientists and historians gather in brightly lit laboratories and hushed archives, dissecting its lines and materials with advanced technology. Each discovery raises new questions. While certainty remains elusive, the air crackles with anticipation. Even now, every revelation seems to lead deeper into the maze of mystery that surrounds this remarkable artifact. Across universities and museums, experts convene in spirited debate. Voices rise and papers shuffle as new findings are presented. Some scholars argue with precision, pointing to carbon dating and ink composition as evidence of authenticity or later tampering. Others, scanning the coastlines etched on the map, claim they recognize cartographic features centuries ahead of their time. The story grows ever more complex as these arguments intertwine before a fascinated world. With digital scanners and powerful microscopes, teams embark on exhaustive forensic analyses. Fibers plucked from the maps, parchment are magnified until they appear as vast, alien landscapes. Pigment molecules are examined for hints of their origin and age. Specialists compare ancient cartographic traditions and cross-check the map's features against known historical data. Every careful examination brings a fresh round of excitement and sometimes profound confusion. Outside scholarly circles, public curiosity intensifies. Documentaries, late-night radio shows, and online forums buzz with speculation. Conspiracy theorists staunchly defend the belief that the map is evidence of ancient advanced knowledge, some suggesting lost civilizations, others proposing contact with explorers unknown to history. For every scientific explanation offered, a dozen fanciful theories take flight, rousing imagination as much as skepticism. In quiet, climate-controlled rooms, preservationists work against time itself. Their hands move delicately over the aged parchment, ensuring the map's survival for generations yet to come. Each effort to stabilize ink and prevent fading is recorded, photographed, and studied. This tender care is a silent testimony to the reverence held for the artifact heaven as debate rages on outside these sacred halls. The map endures, awaiting further discovery. Passionate historians write books and articles, their words laced with conviction. Some insist the map is a stunning example of early navigation, a testament to Ottoman ingenuity. Others question its accuracy, highlighting distortions or features that defy explanation. They trace the life of Piri Reis himself, combing through records of his voyages and the empire he served. The debate becomes not only about the map, but about the map behind the man behind it. In televised debates, maps unfurl on bright studio tables. Red lines arc across continents as experts demonstrate knowledge or challenge accepted wisdom. Arguments soar back and forth. Was Antarctica truly depicted centuries before its official discovery? Broadcasters amplify every twist, making each session feel like a high-stakes mystery. Around each corner, new voices add to the growing chorus, both questioning and defending the map's authenticity. Beyond academic debate, cultural fascination weaves itself into the story. Artists recreate the map's intricate lines, inspired by its enigma. Writers pen speculative fiction, imagining the secrets Piri Reis may have carried. Even in film and television, the map appears as a prop or plot device, a symbol of hidden knowledge and adventure. Through art and story, the map's legend transcends the boundaries of scholarship alone. Skeptics focus on the evidence at hand. They scrutinize date stamps, ink types, and geographical inaccuracies, arguing that errors reflect knowledge limitations of the time. Rather than a miraculous artifact, they propose the map is a patchwork pieced together from prevailing maps of the era, with guesswork filling the unknown. Their rational analyses are an anchor against the winds of more fantastic interpretations. But the voices of believers ring just as true. To them, certain coastline features on the map cannot be explained by any known source from the 15th or 16th centuries. They suggest lost records or travellers whose tales never reached European ears. This conviction inspires relentless searching through old ports, ancient libraries, and scattered archives. They hunt for missing links that might finally unlock the map's secrets. Mysterious details spark particular fascination. Some point to playful sea creatures drawn along distant shores, whimsical illustrations or hidden codes. The presence of unfamiliar islands or reshaped continents gives rise to endless speculation. Every ambiguity is examined anew. Is it the product of artistic liberty, garbled translation, or some deeper concealed intent? The smallest flourish may hold a clue, and nothing escapes careful study. The narrative turns to international intrigue. Copies of the map circulate in secretive circles. Unsubstantiated claims whisper of missing portions, perhaps deliberately concealed to hide dangerous knowledge. Stories arise of governments and collectors vying for the chance to own or decipher the artifact. The map's ownership history is assessed again, tracking its journey through time, as each steward leaves their own subtle mark. Forensic linguists pore over Piri Reis annotations, parsing every letter with care. Tiny notes written in Ottoman Turkish are translated and compared to other historic documents. This process yields tantalizing hints about the sources and intent behind the map's creation. Yet, even linguistic analysis fails to close the chapter. Instead, it opens up new questions complicating the already tangled tapestry of controversy. Quietly, some experts voice the possibility of coincidence. They wonder if similarities between the Piri Reis map and distant lands can be attributed to luck, distortion, or even errors inherited from earlier maps. After all, cartography was a fledgling science, and the world's edges remained shrouded in rumour. This sober perspective tempers more sensational claims, reminding audiences that the line between discovery and mistake is often very fine. Meanwhile, a new generation of explorers takes up the challenge. Digital tools allow for overlays and 3D reconstructions. Enthusiasts line up coastlines, comparing the map's depiction with satellite imagery. Discrepancies are highlighted, and unexpected alignments celebrated. Through technology, the old parchment finds new meaning, as enthusiasts from every continent join in a shared endeavour to analyse, understand, and perhaps even solve the riddle once and for all. The debate continues online, drawing participants from around the globe. Each forum and social media thread becomes a virtual roundtable, where opinions clash but curiosity never wanes. Debunkers and dreamers, armchair historians and seasoned academics all weigh in. The map transcends borders and languages, its faded lines serving as a meeting place for minds determined to uncover the truth, whatever it may be. As controversy endures, so too does fascination. Exhibitions featuring the Piri Reis map attract travellers from distant lands. Visitors stand transfixed before its faded surface, pondering what secrets are still hidden within. Guided by audio tours and curators' insights, Each observer draws their own meanings, some seeking evidence, others inspiration. The map, silent yet eloquent, continues to spark imagination and debate with every viewing. Historians revisit the mapped context in Ottoman society. They ask what knowledge was available to Piri Reis and who aided his efforts. Every merchant, sailor and scribe becomes a potential link in the chain of its creation. As researchers dig through the archives, new narratives emerge, framing the map as both a product of its era and a seeming anomaly. This ongoing analysis invites viewers to reconsider everything they thought they knew. Other experts delve into the psychological aspects of map interpretation. They explain why humans are drawn to mystery, how uncertainty and gaps in knowledge inspire legendary thinking. The Piri Reis map thus becomes more than a chart. It is a mirror for the hopes and questions of every era that encounters it. In seeking answers, we reveal much about ourselves and our enduring desire to find order in the world's chaos. Narrators of documentaries and podcasts breathe new life into the map saga. Dramatic retellings bring listeners and viewers into the heart of the controversy, blending careful study with imaginative storytelling. Carefully layered soundtracks and descriptive language transform past debates into vibrant scenes. In this retelling, the map is not just an artifact from history, reshaped with every retelling by those determined to keep its secrets, reshaped with every retelling by those determined to keep its secrets alive. Those closest to the artifact often speak of its uncanny presence. Archivists describe shifting feelings when holding the map something weightier than the sum of its materials. This respect borders on reverence, as they consider the long chain of hands through which the parchment has passed. For these caretakers, the controversy is less a storm than a badge of honour, preserving not just ink and leather, but the story of centuries. Beneath it all, the Piri Reis map remains unchanged at its lines, as vivid and enigmatic as on the day they were inked. The world, however, has changed immeasurably around it. Each attempt to uncover the truth brings another layer of intrigue. Controversy, rather than diminishing its lure, only enhances the map's place in legend. The story moves ever forward, weaving new voices and discoveries into the evolving tapestry. And so, with each passing generation, the map's mystery deepens. Schools, museums and libraries display it as both artifact and puzzle. The boundaries between history and legend blur. This enduring controversy becomes a vital part of the tale itself, a testament to human curiosity and the complexities of truth. As new controversies arise, the Piri Reis map stands as a reminder that some questions may never truly be answered. In the end, the map's greatest revelation may be its enduring power to ignite debates, inspire discovery, and provoke wonder. It is both a window into the past and a canvas for the present, hopes and anxieties. For historians, skeptics, dreamers or believers, one thing binds them all: the eternal pull of the unknown. The Piri Reis map, silent and steady, continues to beckon us toward the horizon of possibility. Chapter 10. The Compass of Wonder. As our voyage draws to a close, a soft hush falls over centuries of whispered discoveries. The Piri Reis map rests silently now, its mysteries wavering just beyond certain reach. With each contour traced upon parchment, humanity's tireless spirit glimmers, ever curious, ever reaching. Tonight we slow our pace. Let the echoes of ancient explorers remind us. Wonder itself is a compass guiding us still. In the warm quiet that follows, consider the map not only as an artifact, but as a mirror for the dreams of all who came before us. Its swirling coastlines and cryptic notes summon questions about lost voyages, untold encounters, and worlds half remembered. The Piri Reis map is a puzzle, yes, but it's also a promise, whispering that there is always more to uncover, beyond the horizon of what we think we know. Each generation has gazed at the unknown, and with trembling hands tried to inscribe meaning upon its misty outlines. The Piri Reis map is our invitation to continue that tradition, to linger over old riddles, and let curiosity chart the course. In the soft lamplight of contemplation, we sense how a single sheet of aged vellum can ignite the fires of boundless imagination, flickering through centuries. For the scribe who sketched its mysterious shapes, a world of possibility stretched far beyond the safe harbours of home. Each enigmatic line was etched with both caution and hope, a delicate dance between what was known and what could only be guessed. Gathering around this map, we join a timeless circle of adventurers and storytellers, drawn onward by the lure of distant shores yet unmarred by certainty. To wonder is to wander, tracing questions across uncharted realms of time. The Piri Reis map, whether guiding mariners or firing the imagination of those safe on land, embodies the restless ache to reach beyond the boundaries of our understanding. It becomes a symbol of exploration, not just of geography, but of spirit, the lifelong search for meaning in patterns half discovered, forever unfolding before our eyes. Imagine the hands that lingered over this chart long before the certainty of satellites and GPS. Each stroke on the Piri Reis map blends bits of truth, legend, and speculation, demonstrating how knowledge itself is an evolving voyage. Centuries pass, yet the map reminds us sometimes the greatest discoveries begin with a question, whispered in the quiet just before dawn, a moment where anything feels possible. As the final glow of sunlight fades on our imaginary voyage, let's savour the beauty of not knowing everything. The mystery of the Piri Reis map is a hidden music, playing gently through the tides of history. It tells us that even in the age of exploration, uncertainty was never something to fear, but a spark to guide brave souls farther, inspiring new stories that ripple through the ages. While some may chase answers with relentless precision, the real gift of the Piri Reis map lies in its invitation to keep asking. Was it drawn with knowledge lost to time, or by piecing together rumour and hope? In wrestling with these questions, we become explorers ourselves, setting sail across unquiet waters of memory and myth. The search, not the solution, often gives our journeys meaning. Consider how, even now, centuries later, this map draws thinkers and dreamers alike to its edges. Scholars puzzle over its origins, adventurers trace its faded lines, and storytellers imagine the lives it touched. The Piri Reis map acts as a bridge between those who once walked upon the earth and those yet to come, its enigma unbroken, guiding us gently toward what lies beyond the known world. In the drift between history and legend, the Piri Reis map finds its true identity. It's more than a collection of coastlines or a catalogue of lands. It holds the breath of forgotten sailors, the awe of those who beheld it first. Our journey ends with the invitation to wander as they did, allowing mystery to kindle the flame of discovery, no matter how far we have travelled from the map's creation. The stories bound up in the map's weathered parchment cannot be unravelled in one night alone. Instead, its legacy is like a shifting constellation, offering glimpses of the unknown but never revealing all. To sit in quiet thought with the Piri Reis map is to join a lineage of seekers who understood the most powerful guides are sometimes the questions we carry, rather than the answers we find. So as we fold away the Piri Reis map, tuck it gently among the chronicles of history. Imagine those who will discover it anew, years or centuries hence, seeing in it not just a piece of the past, but a living touchstone for wonder. With each viewing, the map becomes new again, a spark to set fresh journeys alight. The unknown waits patiently, always ready for those brave enough to look. Letting go of the quest for certainty, we instead embrace the endless conversation between what is known and all that remains shrouded. The Piri Reis map lingers as an emblem of that dialogue, a silent invitation to keep questioning the boundaries of our world. In every era, explorers arisen not to end the mystery, but to add new stories to its enduring legend, following the compass of their own wonder. Rest quietly with the image of the map unspooled on a wooden table, candlelight flickering in the gloom. Picture hands running lightly over its curving shores, imagination roaming freely to places seen and unseen. The Piri Reis map asks us not to solve, but to save Arto, let our thoughts wander gently through uncertainties, feeling the thrill of possibility bud with each unanswered riddle. For all its enduring secrets, perhaps the map's greatest treasure is the sense of awe it inspires. Awe at what has already been discovered, and greater awe for all that remains obscured in shadow. Closing this chapter, remember that history's greatest navigators often found themselves turning not toward absolute truth, but toward the extraordinary landscape of the mind's own curiosity. Sometimes, a single chart can realign how the world is seen, a fragile piece of parchment carrying waves of inspiration across centuries. The Piri Reis map does not promise comfort or easy answers, but it does offer an open invitation to exploration. The world grows both bigger and smaller as we ponder its mysteries. Each new question marks another waypoint on our shared voyage through time. The final lesson of the Piri Reis map is gentle yet enduring, the importance of holding space for questions. Where certainty narrows the mind, wonder keeps it wide open, welcoming fresh discoveries as gifts rather than threats. So linger tonight in that spaciousness. Let the ancient shapes and half-glimpsed revelations inspire journeys not yet begun, steered gently by the compass every explorer knows, curiosity. Even as charts and maps of our own era multiply in detail, the allure of old mysteries persists. The Piri Reis map stands as a reminder that some of history's greatest riddles resist simple solutions. Instead of finality, we find a mosaic of dreams patched together by those who dared to believe that every coastline and story deserved to be explored, recorded and remembered. And so the journey ends as it began, with a question and a longing gaze toward the horizon. What other secrets sleep in forgotten libraries or the memory of the sea? The Piri Reis map is proof that even an incomplete story can shape generations, carrying the power to transform how we imagine ourselves and our place in a vast, ever-surprising world. As we close this chapter, take with you the lingering sense of possibility. No matter how precisely we chart our world, there will always be blank space territories of the imagination and prompts for future discovery. The map's most lasting legacy is the gentle encouragement to keep looking, keep asking, and to trust the compass of wonder that guides us all, quietly, through the night. Envision a world where every unanswered question is an invitation to adventure. This is the heart of the Piri Reis map's allure. Each faded notation pulses with hopeia, reminder that to explore is to embrace the unknown with open hands. As you drift towards sleep, let the echoes of explorers past guide your thoughts, gently reminding you that mystery and discovery will forever walk hand in hand. So let us honour not only the map, but what it represents, humanity's bold willingness to dream, to risk, and to wander. Every journey starts with wonder and ends with the promise of more questions. Let this final reflection linger with you, reminder that each of us, in our own way, carries a compass of curiosity, steering us toward new chapters in the story of our world. The tale of the Piri Reis map is not just the story of a chart, but of an idea that the world expands to match the size of our questions. With every trace upon its surface, New destinations beckon, and old ones speak anew. Rest in the hush between journeys, and know that, like explorers before us, we are forever drawn onward by the compass of wonder. Thank you for joining this exploration into the mysteries of the Piri Reis map. As you return from these distant shores, may the spirit of curiosity accompany you, nudging you always to discover, to ask, and to imagine. The world awaits, still full of marvels both ancient and yet to be dreamed. Let curiosity chart your own course, wherever it may lead. Until our next journey, sleep well and wonder.